Hello and welcome. You're watching News 9 Live. My name is Pankaj Mishra. With me is my colleague Kabir Naqvi, and the man behind on the screen is Ajinkya Rahane. He has been making headlines not just for his blistering knocks under the stewardship of Mahendra Singh Dhoni and the CSK, but also his name now figures in the World Test Championship team, which obviously is an elite list. And as far as playing Test cricket goes, obviously a pinch hitter, a night watchman, wants to be on that list, but unfortunately does not make the cut. There are so many names which have been dropped also. Kabir, first things first, Ajinkya Rahane's role and performance in a test team, how do you see it?
Well, it goes without saying, ever since that particular list has come out, I've been on Twitter, going through the feed. And the one word that everybody has putting it out there on social media is that he totally deserves it. Take a look at the optics. He's in the yellow jersey this season in the IPL, playing for the Chennai Super Kings, like you mentioned, under the mentorship of Mahendra Singh Dhoni. And he's having an excellent form and an IPL season, if you may. He's played 5 matches, 209 runs, 71 not out, part of that particular score as well, 250s. In this particular IPL already. It's a complete transformation, if I were to put it that way. 199.04 is the man's strike rate. Essentially means, Pankaj, he's scoring 2 runs per ball. So, right. If this doesn't talk about his complete transformation, at this point in time, what does? So, at the Gabba, when we did not have the likes of Rohit Sharma, when we did not have the likes of Virat Kohli, we had Ajinkya Rahane, who was the skipper, and Rishabh Pant with that impeccable knock. And at the Gabba, we won that particular test match. So him returning back to the squad essentially means that we've got, with his form currently, with the way he's playing, the way he's attacking the ball at the moment, it is definitely welcomed. On the other hand, KL Rahul, he also finds his place back in the squad. But it's important to note at the same time, of course, we're focusing on Ajinkya Rahane, but just to tell the viewers as well that the BCCI list has also put it out there that Shreyas Iyer is not part of that particular squad, and so does Ishan Kishan, not finding any room in that squad. But taking a look at Ajinkya Rahane's, test statistics, his test record, Rahane has played 82 matches, scored about 5,000 runs, 4,931 odd runs. It also has 12 centuries. He has captained the Indian side as well. So when we're looking at the World Test Championship, we played it last time around as well against New Zealand. This time we're facing the Aussies. So again, it is a tough competition, and with the likes of Ajinkya Rahane, the way he's holding the bat right now, his wrist movement, how confidently he's punching the ball from the get-go is certainly going to be a knock to witness.
Well, indeed, Kabir, and also looking at the test ratings and the stats for Ajinkya Rahane, obviously 42 matches, 140 innings, 12 not outs. That is something, that sheet anchor role that we always talk about in order to give lusty totals to the opposition and also maybe chase them down. Roughly about 5,000 runs in test matches. This is something that Ajinkya Rahane, I would say, is cut out for tests also. But his career, as of now, we are seeing purple patch in IPL. But do you believe that performance linked to IPL should be a parameter in a way for anyone to be selected in the squad?
Pankaj, yet again, you've touched, a nerve that nobody wants to touch when you start comparing IPL performance and how that dictates one's selection in various international tournaments, especially in a country like India, where when it comes to cricket, we wear our hearts on our sleeves. But IPL performance right ahead of, let's say, the World Cup that is going to take place this year, the 50 over ODI World Cup that's going to take place, and India is going to be hosting it ahead of, the IPL. So, one has to, connect the dots. In retrospect, 2 + 2 is going to make 4 here. It's a simple equation. If you're playing well in the IPL, somebody like Venkatesh Iyer, who's been scoring those impeccable knocks for the Knight Riders, is maybe going to be looked at as well. Of course, you've got stalwarts in the team already. It's a cricketing nation, India, and the team is, of course, very strong on paper as well. So all of these players, all of our rookies, climbing up the ladder, our Gaikwads, our Venkatesh Iyers, don't necessarily, find a spot, when it comes to their IPL performance that is in question. But then again, with the likes of Ruturaj Gaikwad and Venkatesh Iyer, with the way they're batting right now, the selectors do have an option at their hand. It's a trouble for the selectors more than the viewers or the fans or the skipper at this point in time. But circling back to Ajinkya Rahane, again, his name on that particular test squad is a blessing in disguise, so to speak, from where I'm looking at things. And the last time he played his test match was in 2022 in January. It was in South Africa. And his scores, Pankaj, were 9 and 1 respectively over the 2 innings. So his 71 not out, him scoring those 210 odd runs across 5 matches, 250s, strike rate of 199.04, scoring 2 runs per ball, is a form that we would like him to, dictate the pitch with at the World Test Championship as well. Somewhere in June, we're expected to play the Aussies.
Right. Also, playing Aussies obviously is never easy, but competitive as well. Do you believe that Rahane's knack as the vice captain, when he also was in that decision-making situation, do you believe that it's a test of nerve when it comes to a young player like Ajinkya Rahane to face the Australians?
Well, absolutely. I wouldn't say Ajinkya Rahane is that young player in our squad anymore. He is one of the experienced people we have on our side when it comes to red ball cricket, essentially. He has his own unique style of playing. He does dictate, the crease when he's at it. He has, partnered some really nice partnerships as well. Some crucial partnerships, if I were to put it that way. So we have the right person in Ajinkya Rahane, a middle order batsman who can command, the pitch, who can, really stay on his ground, be a real stubborn batter when it comes to batting in those, deathly middle overs, in the middle of the first innings, in the beginning of the second innings, those crucial moments when we need our batsmen to just hold their ground. Ajinkya Rahane does that job. We have had Shreyas Iyer in that role, in the capacity of that role. He has been able to do that somehow to some extent. KL Rahul was dropped. We had SuryaKumar Yadav over his 360-degree batting. We even gave him a chance to come in. Ishan Kishan now is not welcomed in the team anymore, giving his particular batting standards. So I think the selectors, what they've gone for when they've picked this team, particularly looking at Ajinkya Rahane, they want some sort of stability. So in the face of young brute talent, of being fearless hitters who can pivot their legs at any given point of time and knock the ball out of the park in any direction, when you compare that with stability, and when it comes to test match, the World Test Championships, the test of the tests, I think Ajinkya Rahane is a safer bet that the selectors have gone for.
Right, June 7th would be when the Oval would become witness to World Test Championship, and that would be where all eyes, cricketing eyes, would be. Kabir, it's curious to know that I remember 2021, 2022 when the second or third bout of COVID was, knocking at the world's doors. India was touring South Africa, and there were 2 questions that Team India was facing. First one, whether to travel to South Africa or not because the cases were rising there, and secondly, whether to have Ajinkya Rahane in the squad because his performance with the bat was questionable at that time. Do you believe that, the injuries in form of Shreyas Iyer for that matter, or the not so good performance of Ishan Kishan is something that has also propelled Rahane's chances?
Absolutely, 100%. In South Africa, those questions were paramount. Should Ajinkya Rahane even be part of that team? I mean, we had the likes of Shubman Gill already, making their way into the team. I mean, good things were the Team India was looking up when it came to other batters that could replace our, unstabilized middle order. And that's when Ajinkya Rahane was shown the door because of the scores that I just spoke to you about. It was 2022 in the same series when he scored a 9er and a single run across the 2 innings in a particular test match. And that seemed to be, at that particular point in time, the final nail in the coffin. But right now, the complete transformation that we're talking about when we're looking at Ajinkya Rahane, King Rahane is what they're calling him on Twitter, and saying he totally deserves it. Ajinkya Rahane realized his dream in January this year in 2023, he said, he's on record for saying that the dream is still to play for Team India. I just want to be in the moment, learn from our mistakes, and whenever an opportunity comes, I grab it. And be it the IPL arena, be it the Chepauk, be it CSK traveling, he is grabbing all opportunities, and not just grabbing them, hitting them out of the park for a 6 as well. So not a surprise for me, essentially. I personally, being a true fan when it comes to cricket, I did want Ajinkya Rahane in the team for the Test Championship.
Right. Kabir, now let's also take a look at the team selection for the World Test Championship. We had that graphics which narrates the list. There we have it. Shubman Gill, obviously obvious choice, as you mentioned. Cheteshwar Pujara, Virat Kohli, Ajinkya Rahane, KL Rahul. This we'll have to take a quick look at. KS Bharat, wicket keeper. Ravichandran Ashwin, Ravindra Jadeja, Akshar Patel, Shardul Thakur, and then we have the tail-enders, the bowlers on the other side. There we have them, Mohammad Shami, Mohammad Siraj, Umesh Yadav and Jaydev Unadgat. Quite a mix of young and old, I would say, Kabir here. But Jasprit Bumrah's missing there. What's up with him? And secondly, his injury scare still not over.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's not forget he was, brought in back for that training session. And in the training session itself, ahead of the series with Australia and New Zealand, we played them early in the year. Jasprit Bumrah had come into training and picked up another niggle, and it was, well put forth that Jasprit Bumrah is not fit for action at the moment. And the idea was to safeguard him, make sure he doesn't play the IPL, and safeguard him for the ODI World Cup. So again, it's going to be interesting to see whether he makes it for the ODI World Cup or not, because everybody is, pinning their hopes on seeing Jasprit Bumrah, our ace leader of the battery, of bowlers that Team India has, to lead it from the front. And he is a great test bowler. He's done so much for us already. So Jasprit Bumrah's absence again is, a point of concern and worry, but not as much. We've got our Mohammad Siraj, we've got Mohammad Shami, Unadkat, part of that particular team as well. And if we could just put up that graphic yet again, we were speaking about KL Rahul. We've got Shubman Gill and Cheteshwar Pujara. Cheteshwar Pujara again putting in a decent knock at Firozshah Kotla when Team India faced the Australians. It's sort of like a dress rehearsal before the World Test Championship. Virat Kohli, of course, his place solidified. It's interesting to see that Rohit Sharma is going to pair up with Shubman Gill. Cheteshwar Pujara comes in. Virat Kohli for a little bit of more stability. Ajinkya Rahane, that factor. I mean, who would you rather have? Would you rather have a Shreyas Iyer over there? Would you rather have a SuryaKumar Yadav? On their good day, of course, for sure.
Right.
But you have to bet against the worst at this point in time. It's the World Test Championship, just the one match, just the 5 days that count. And let's not forget, it rains in Oval as well. So the weather is going to be of grave concern for Team India as well. I think that's another role to play. And of course, the performance of, the lack of performance rather, from these other players is also a factor that has now come in. KS Bharat, he's been, quite a crucial player for Team India in the absence of Rishabh Pant. He's done a good job behind the stumps and lends in a, is handy with the bat as well. Ravichandran Ashwin, Ravindra Jadeja, our two Ravis that we just can't do without in Team India. Akshar Patel, take a look at his form, what he did in Ahmedabad, what he did in Delhi across the series, what he's done last night for the Delhi Capitals as well. So the team looks strong, the team looks balanced. Would you rather have Shreyas Iyer instead of Ajinkya Rahane is going to be a debate. Would you rather have Ishan Kishan instead of SuryaKumar Yadav? I mean, all these debates are always going to be there. That's because the kind of players we have at our disposal. But the point is, King Rahane is back. It is certainly welcome from where I'm looking at things. Only gives the team stability, takes nothing from it.
Right, absolutely, because 15 months of a break from test matches now, Rahane is back in the squad. Also, it goes without any saying that SuryaKumar Yadav obviously is not there in that chosen 15 list, but his performance also, barring the IPL, I would say before that, when we had the World Test T20 Championship, what we saw, SuryaKumar Yadav, a streak of what many called that of AB de Villiers, Mr. 360. Do you believe that when it comes to class, stability and stamina, SuryaKumar Yadav somehow fell short when it came to selection in the test squad?
Well, you see, these are too many factors. SuryaKumar is an athlete in and out. You can see from his build, from the training regimen he follows, and with the way he's knocking the ball out of the park when he's on his game, A game. I mean, it's stuff of legend. The way he's using his bat and his body to shoot the ball 360 degrees all across the pitch. It takes time. You see, Sir Don Bradman. It took him years to finally see Sachin Tendulkar play and then come up with that comparison that, maybe I haven't seen myself play, but now that I've seen Sachin Tendulkar play, maybe I played like him. That's the comparison that he drew. And it took time. The minute SuryaKumar starts batting well, you start comparing him with A.B. de Villiers, you start calling him Mr. 360. You've got various commercial and advertisements where in which he is actually, shooting the ball 360 degrees, calling himself Mr. 360 within a span of weeks. And that's not really good for an athlete. Look what happened after that purple patch. This is what people in football call a one-season wonder. You score about 40 goals in a season, and then you're done and dusted. You're nowhere to be found the next season. And that's what I think has happened with SuryaKumar. There's something off over there. Getting out for ducks in a row, for getting out for single-digit figures back to back is certainly not good for an ace batter, somebody who's at least being pitched across as an ace batter. So yes, his form is of concern and question, and clearly so, and rightly so. He's not part of that particular squad. I'm not sure if the same is going to happen when the selection for white ball cricket is being done, but when it comes for red ball cricket, and just the one match that counts, the World Test Championship, the test of the tests.
Indeed. It can't get bigger and better than that, Kabir, indeed. And I can just picture both of us glued to the TV sets and watching each and every ball that is being bowled there, although the timings would be different here in India. But talking about the ball and the wicket, we saw two back-to-back deliveries breaking the middle stump. That was Arshdeep Singh. His name doesn't figure here. A young chap. We have seen him performing in very tough conditions, and against Pakistan also, and high intensity matches. Arshdeep, where do you see him going? Test matches or not? But still, the kind of caliber, the kind of cricket he is bringing with him, impeccable.
Great stuff. What a great lad. The way with which he's handled death overs for Team India, not for his IPL franchise, the way he's handled all of that is really impressive. He's worn the blue jersey a couple of times, and he's put in those death overs a number of times. He's bowled in those overs, really crucial for Team India, and really, Team India has reaped the benefits as well.
Right. Meha Bhardwaj also joins us, Kabir, on the broadcast. Meha, thank you so much for speaking to us here. Well, Ajinkya Rahane, time for redemption. 15 months out of cricket, out of a test match, and now he is back with a bang. What choices does Team India take into consideration while putting him in the 15 players? And also, how big an opportunity is it for Ajinkya once again?
I was talking to my sources within the BCCI, and this was something that we kind of had an inkling of, that Ajinkya Rahane would make a comeback in World Test Championship final, simply because of a lack of experience in the middle order after Rishabh Pant is out injured, Shreyas Iyer is out injured. Rajat Patidar was another player who could have been in, but he's also sitting out with an injury. So I think the thought behind getting Ajinkya Rahane back was to have that experience in the middle order. Remember, they are playing in England at the Oval. It is not going to be an easy task for India against Australia. They would need that experience against the pace and bounce of the Australian bowlers. And I think that's why they've gone back to Ajinkya Rahane. Not a lot of it, as you were suggesting on the show, is because of the IPL. He has also gone through the grind of domestic cricket. He's played Duleep Trophy. He has scored 634 runs. It may not be because of that he would have got a call, because at the end of it, those are not a lot of runs, but he scored 300, including a double hundred. I think it's the experience, and I think the fact that Ajinkya Rahane in the past that he's played for this Indian team has done well overseas. In fact, I think more of his test hundreds have come overseas than at home. keeping all of this in mind is why he's been given a call. The good thing is that Ajinkya Rahane seems to be in a very good mind space at the moment in the way he's batting, even in the IPL. You must have seen what he's done for Chennai Super Kings. He is striking at 189 right now, the highest right now for a batter who's faced minimum of 100 balls in the IPL. Who would have thought, Pankaj and Kabir, that before this IPL began, that Ajinkya Rahane would be transformed into this completely different player who's striking like this. So a lot of credit has to be given to Chennai Super Kings, specifically Mahendra Singh Dhoni, who seems to be like a magician wielding his magical wand. But the credit also has to be given to Ajinkya Rahane in the way that he said that, look, I'm not going to be, this is not over for me. I'm going to go back to the grind of domestic cricket. But which is not easy for any of these international players to go back again and start from scratch. He's done it. He's scored runs. He's proven to his critics that, look, you still need to give me another chance. And some of it is luck, given that there is no experience in that middle order with Rishabh injured and Shreyas Iyer injured. So the way I see it is that the team management are looking at KL Rahul as their wicketkeeper batter, who will keep wickets, and then Ajinkya Rahane also comes in the middle order. So definitely this is a big opportunity for him. But I do believe that he is in a very good space. He's batting beautifully. He looks like he's got a point to prove. And yes, he's been given an opportunity which I feel like he's likely to grab with both hands.
Well, Mehak, Kabir this side, I'd really love for you to throw a little more light on the MS Dhoni factor. You did speak and touch upon it. What might his role have been in, putting all of this, fostering all of this confidence again in somebody like Ajinkya Rahane, sort of like prompting him to be another, Dinesh Karthik 2.0. Also, the larger message that is going out that, Team India is not going to shy away from our experienced players who have run out of form to, again come back in form, and there's always a place open for them.
I think, like I said, in a big match like the World Test Championship final, the occasion itself is big. I don't think the Indian team, and it's not like a series that they'll be playing. So it's just one match. First, I'll come to the Mahendra Singh Dhoni part in this debate.
Right.
I think the team management and the selectors wanted that experience so that anybody thrown in at the deep end would not be overawed by the occasion. So, yes, Sarfaraz Khan seems to, he's done very well in domestic cricket. He's scored runs by a bucketful, but I don't think the selectors still believe that he can graduate, he can get to that test level just yet. Similarly, for a lot of other cricketers who seem to be doing well in domestic cricket, but I don't think that the selectors felt that this was the right time or the right occasion to put them in something as big as the World Test Championship final. They were lucky that they had Ajinkya Rahane, who is in good form, who has the experience and is hungry to show to the world that he can bat like before. In fact, better than before. This is Ajinkya Rahane. Spoke about Dinesh Karthik 2.0. This is Ajinkya Rahane 2.0. Now coming to Mahendra Singh Dhoni and his captaincy and what he does with players. We saw with Mahendra, it's not just Ajinkya Rahane, it was Robin Uthappa last year. And I remember having a conversation with Robin Uthappa last year, and I asked him, how is it that you've completely changed in terms of how you approach your game? You seem to be enjoying it. You're playing some very crucial innings for Chennai Super Kings. And this is exactly what he said, that that's the kind of confidence that Dhoni instills in us. The way he tells us that it's okay, you just have to go back to your strength and play. Now, it's easier said than done because I think a lot of captains would be doing it, so there is something more to it, which I think we need to, at some point, if we can get Mahendra Singh Dhoni to sit down and tell us, maybe we'll understand. But right now, the way I see it, Mahendra Singh Dhoni can bring the best out of any player. Look at what he's doing with Akash Singh, in the way Akash Singh is bowling. Look at what he's doing with Tushar Deshpande, who's getting wickets for you, who hasn't been able to replicate this for other teams, who hasn't been able to do this for other teams. Similarly with Ajinkya Rahane. So there is of course Mahendra Singh Dhoni and the security that CSK as a franchise provides these players, because we've seen it with a lot of them.
Absolutely.
Deepak Chahar being another example, in how he transformed into this brilliant bowler. The reason why he got a chance in the Indian team was because of his performances in the Chennai Super Kings. So there are a lot of players who've sort of blossomed under Mahendra Singh Dhoni, and Ajinkya Rahane is the latest example.
Meha, thank you so much for speaking to us. Obviously, good news for Team India, and 7th of June, Oval is the test and date when ICC World Test Championship would unfold, and obviously all eyes would be on that all-important match. Thank you so much. Meha Bharadwaj there. Now we are joined by almost the namesake of Meha. Now we have Megha in studio with us. Megha, good to have you here. How do you see this induction of Ajinkya Rahane? I remember 11th of January was the time in 2022 when Ajinkya Rahane played his last test match, and that too against my second favorite country, first being India, is South Africa. And since then, 15 months have gone down the line, and he is back now for a big stage game like World Test Championship. What kind of preparation, both mentally and physically, do you believe a player needs in order to perform well after such a long gap?
Yes, exactly, because 15 months is a really, really long time, and yes, he has played in the Ranji Trophy, all the domestic tournaments, and he's also playing in the IPL and has been pretty brilliant in that. But playing in a World Test Championship final, facing the likes of Mitchell Starc, Josh Hazelwood, Pat Cummins is an entirely different thing. So I think this IPL will actually provide him some motivation, because the way he has been playing, he has been striking so well the ball. If you look at the last match against KKR as well, he was so good at hitting the ball out of the park. So I think that physical thing is kind of on the track, pretty much on the track, and it was said earlier that whichever teams would slowly fade away from the IPL, who won't qualify for the playoffs, they would be sent, the players who would make it to the WTC squad, they would be sent directly to England before the IPL finishes. But the way CSK is playing, we expect that maybe they can also qualify for the playoffs, and maybe Rahane won't get an early ticket to England. But Rahane has played in England. He has enough experience. He knows how to come up on these big situations. But definitely WTC is a different thing, and not playing in international conditions since the last 15 months would definitely be a big thing, a huge challenge. But I think someone like an Ajinkya Rahane has the mentality, he knows how to face up to it.
Right. And Kabir, I think you are itching to also add to what Meha was mentioning about the Dhoni factor when it comes to honing the talent of not just the youngsters, but also those who have had a bad patch.
I mean, what do you want me to say? Give the man the directorship of the BCCI already. The way he's helping players on the pitch, outside the pitch, the recent match that happened in Ranchi, you saw him, he looks so well built and fit at the same time, fitter than some of the players in the squad, if I may, and I stick my neck out. Mahendra Singh Dhoni and his role is evergreen. It's not going to stop. I think the way he organically approaches the sport and the way he wants to help other people, with Deshpande as well, the names Meha was taking, and the recent matches, you take a look, he's got no room for no balls, he's got no room for wide balls. But the minute a youngster comes and snaps a wicket, he's going to be the first person to go there, pat on the back or tell the person that you did a good job. He'd really back his team players, the youngsters especially, even when they're not putting in the right kind of effort. So, and that's very important. That's what we need to inculcate our youngsters as well. But Ajinkya Rahane, is it other players' lack of performance, or is it his own purple patch in the IPL? We don't know. I was just going through this particular tweet, and I'd love to read out to the viewers as well. It says other IPL batsmen get orange cap for their performance. Ajinkya Rahane got a blue one.
Well, that sums it all, obviously. And Megha, final word from you. Being such a young talent and such a young journalist and covering sports is no easy task, let me tell all our viewers also. Well, only yesterday, Sachin Tendulkar turned 50. Now, when Sachin played, I'm sure Dhoni must be watching it from somewhere in a remote corner of Ranchi on his TV sets. When Dhoni is playing, then obviously other youngsters are playing. Dhoni's role, or what Kabir mentions, very critical, and so is others. So are others also. what caliber and what confidence do you believe this particular mentorship brings as far as players in Indian team is concerned, Indian cricket is concerned?
Definitely, mentorship is a huge thing. Even if you look at Indian squads or even IPL squads these days, there's always a place for a mentor. And mostly that person is a former cricketer who has played his role quite well in Indian cricket or even in world cricket, who is brought in as a mentor. Because, the work of the mentor is not to just tell you what aspects of the game you can improve on, but also the mental side of it, because these days the mental side of playing a game is pretty much important. So I think this mentorship, be it someone like a Sachin Tendulkar for the Mumbai Indians, or for entirely a generation, if you might say so, or MS Dhoni, be it building a very good culture inside the Indian team or in the CSK side, it's very important, not just for players like Rahane, senior players like Rahane who kind of faded out from the international scene, but are again making a comeback, not just for them, but also these young talents who are just coming up. It's important for all of them, because to have a senior player who has achieved so much on the international front to help you with some very small things, maybe from the outside it might look some small things that they are giving it to you, but then when those players just go out and play on the field, you know what that advice has turned them into, and they also acknowledge that, which is a pretty good thing we have seen in world cricket in the last few months, not months, in years we might say so. So definitely mentorship has a huge role in today's cricket.
All right. Megha, Kabir and Meha, thank you so much for joining us here on this special broadcast for Ajinkya Rahane, the man who makes a comeback to World Test Championship after 15 months of break from Test cricket. And also Team India has got quite a mix of youngsters, middle order, middle-aged and experienced players in their kitty to take on Australia at the Oval on June 7th. We'll be bringing you all the details in lead up to the match. And Kabir would be keeping
lot of IPL left, Pankaj. Lot of IPL left. Lot of matches for Ajinkya Rahane to play as well. Lot of matches for these other players in that particular squad to play as well. A lot can happen. Jasprit Bumrah is on his way to recovery. This team could, you could see a couple of changes towards the back end, and as in when we approach the World Test Championship. But all in all, King Rahane is back, and that's something to rejoice and cherish and welcome for everybody out there.
Thank you so much for watching this special broadcast, and thanks once again, Kabir and Megha, for joining us.